Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 20 solar light Dollar Tree DIYs for you. We have tons of new ideas, so I'm going to kind of categorize them. We have nautical solar lights, summer themed, patriotic, and coastal. So I thought I would kind of section them out a little bit depending on their theme, depending on what you're looking for. The first one is going to be a Lighthouse solar light DIY. I picked up this solar light from Dollar Tree with the little windows at the top, the square one, and one of the long vases from the Dollar Tree, which is the $3 ones from the Dollar Tree Plus. I'm just gonna pop off the bottom of the solar light. That's all you have to do. Everything was kind of intact on that one. And I wanted to see if I can make a higher end version of the plastic lighthouse that I've made here on my channel. So this one's definitely the most detailed solar light we're going to be making today, but I absolutely love how it turned out. It's fantastic. So I just remove the tag from the bottom and make sure everything is really clean there on the outside of my vase. And I found a really fun technique to decorate my DIY. We're going to be using duct tape. I made sure to use my 3M duct tape because it's a little bit stronger than the duct tape from the Dollar Tree. But I just want to do 3 black stripes on this. And since his face is straight up and down, making a straight stripe on here is fairly easy. One thing that I did notice with the duct tape and the glass, it was pretty forgiving. So if you have like a little wrinkle, you can always kind of pick it up and lay it back down. I'm going to slightly overlap that. And I think I have room on here for like 3 stripes. And then I want to use some of that plastic canvas from the Dollar Tree for the white part of our lighthouse because it's going to have little openings in it that will light up at night. And it turned out so cool. And I thought it kind of gave me like a brick effect. For my third row, I probably didn't space them out great, but I am going to have it overlap the bottom a little bit, but I actually take advantage of that extra duct tape here in just a minute. And again, just trying to get it lined up as straight as I can here in the back and to get it all placed down with as little bubbling as possible. Again, pretty forgiving. If you make a mistake, I think you can peel it up and put it back down. This is the plastic canvas from the Dollar Tree. I've been seeing this at Crafter Square, and I wasn't sure exactly how I could craft with it, but I knew that I could. So let me show you what I'm going to do. First, I am going to measure how long. It's almost a perfect length. I don't have to cut off too much. I'm just going to cut off a few rows here in length. And then I thought we could roll this plastic canvas and put it inside the glass vase to do that really cool light effect. And it's going to look like a white textured surface. I also measured about how wide I need it to be to roll without overlapping a lot. So I just trimmed that off and just rolled it up and put it inside of my glass vase. Now, your girl does still have poison ivy, and hopefully I'm not too disfigured in this video. It was so hot in the garage when I was crafting that there was no way I was going to be able to put a long sleeve shirt on, but the prescription prednisone has definitely done its job. So now you can kind of see the effect I'm going for. I think that these surfaces will be very weatherproof with the duct tape, and the plastic canvas is going to be inside, so it's really protected with the glass vase. I'm going to have the vase upside down for the lighthouse, but I wanted something on the bottom to attach it to weigh it down because I don't want it to break and fall over. So I just take one of the little wood ovals from the Dollar Tree. This one kind of has like the decorative sides, which is cool. And I just gave it a very quick stain with some Antique Wax by Waverly to bring out that great wood grain on it. Some of these are a little bit furry, the wood there, so just going to give a little bit of sand. I don't know if you call it furry, but that's what it kind of reminded me of. And I just sanded that part off, and then we just need to attach our lighthouse. Now that we have it all put together, I can just put hot glue there on the duct tape and the glass and glue that down. I'm going to try to add some more glue here all around the edges as much as possible here to try to make sure that this stays attached to the base outside. And again, if you want to use a stronger glue, totally go for it. But I was trying to get a lot of solar light DIYs done. So for the top here, it is square and the lighthouse itself is round, but I'm going to show you how I go about kind of making that blend together. First, I attach hot glue all along the bottom of the solar light and I place it right on top of the glass vase. Then for the gallery, I am going to use Dollar Tree rope. So this is the thinner rope. I don't think it really matters which one you use. And I am going to simply start gluing that to this bottom of the solar light and the glass vase, which is going to help bond them together too. And like that. And so I'm going to be starting out with a square because I'm going right up against the square solar light, attaching it to the glass vase, right? And when I keep winding that, I go all the way around, it will slowly almost come into a more circular fashion when I get to the edge of the vase, if that makes any sense. For this size rope, I could fit 2 rows of rope going around. And I thought that this could be the bottom of my lighthouse gallery, you know, that little section that is at the top of the lighthouse, like underneath the light. And then I just keep winding it. And I went around one more time to kind of make the sides of it, right? To make it look like almost decking would be. And so 2 flat and then 1 on top of the outer one. And I just go around the shape of that, and I think that's going to work out pretty well. It did help attach it. It covered up kind of any of the parts on the top of the lighthouse, I guess it's the bottom of the vase that I didn't really want you to see, and it gives a fun little decorative touch as well. So that's what it looks like, our little lighthouse gallery. Now to decorate the base, I thought rocks would be perfect. These are the stones from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to attach those to the base. I want to do really heavy with the stones here on one side. I love the fact that they're all different colors. You could do this with the black ones as well from the Dollar Tree. They have the larger stones. I think they might have some white ones. I'm not sure. But I kind of want to do most of it rocks. I'll do a little bit of it beach. But just going all around, even on the sides, I was able to hot glue this on. And I just want it to look like the rocks are just piling up there on the side of the lighthouse. The other purpose that these rocks are going to serve is they're going to weigh down the bottom of the base to help prevent the lighthouse from falling over. I do have it like in my rubber mulch in my landscaping, so if it does go fall over in a heavy like windstorm here in Florida, it probably won't break. I hope not. But I wanted to see if I could do a higher scale version of the plastic one that you guys loved so much. So for the sand, I found some outdoor Mod Podge on Amazon, so I thought I would give that a try. I thought maybe it might be more durable. Have you guys tried this formulation of Mod Podge? I noticed that it was super thick, and I'm just going to cover the rest of the wood plaque there in the bottom where I don't have stones, and just use some Dollar Tree sand and glue that down. If it doesn't hold up to the weather, then, you know, it's still going to be the stained wood underneath of it. I think it'll look fine. I just did a nice coating, 1 coating of sand. I didn't go too crazy with it. And then I'm going to use a little spray adhesive to kind of spray on the top of it to help glue that from the top. And this is how it turned out, our Lighthouse Solar Light DIY. I think it turned out fantastic. I love it. And this is what it looks in my landscaping outside. So as you can see, that plastic mesh and the duct tape looks really pretty during the daytime because you have your classic black and white striped lighthouse. And you know, you could change up your color of duct tape to whatever color lighthouse you want. And I think it would look really cute. But check out how it looks at night. It's so bright. Since I don't have the bottom on the solar light, it shines all the way down through the vase and out all the little plastic canvas, just like I envisioned. And it lights up this entire area of my landscaping. So I'm absolutely thrilled with how this turned out. I think it's so pretty, and it was such a fun solar light DIY to put together for you. Now that one was kind of intricate, so the next one's going to be really easy. I picked up this beautiful blue glass bottle from the Dollar Tree. Isn't this so pretty? It has like a palm leaf pattern on it, and one of the Dollar Tree Solar light bulbs. They have these in all different colors, but I thought I could just unscrew the light bulb. And look, now I have some battery operated twinkle lights. Very cool. And I thought the size lid would be perfect for this jar. So this DIY is so easy. I just put the twinkle lights down inside the glass vase. and then I'm going to attach the lid. I made sure that my power switch was turned on, and then I'm gonna hot glue it on, and it popped right on, just absolute perfect. I didn't add anything to the bottom of this one because I didn't want to weigh it down because I want to make this a hanging solar light. But look how easy that DIY was to do. Now you could hang it with the little hook that's on there. It really doesn't look like a light bulb once you take that light bulb section off of it. The other part looks like a perfect little lid. And I didn't think it'd be quite long enough for what I want my hanger to be able to hang it like in my landscaping. And so I just take a little bit of twine, tie a simple loop here on the top, and now we have a solar light. Isn't that so pretty and so easy? Now you could do this with like different glass bottles. You could even mix up colors if you could find different colors. And I think it would look really pretty hanging in your landscaping. I have it here hanging in a bush. I think hanging these in trees would be really magical as well. And it's so easy to do. You could do a lot of these in very little time, and I think get really maximum effect. And if they're hanging like in your trees and your bushes, they should charge well and give you a really pretty effect at night. This is what it looks like lit up with that beautiful blue fern. And it was like one of the bottles that just had like almost like a perfume stopper in the top of it was this one. They have so many pretty glass bottles from the Dollar Tree that would be great options for it. Isn't that so pretty and such an easy solar light DIY? I hope you enjoyed that one. Now, for the next one, we're going to kind of move into the summer theme of the solar lights. I picked up this solar lantern from the Dollar Tree. You get the little lantern and you get the hook. So all of this for $1.25, so great deal. And I'm going to display it in a flower pot. I found this one actually at Dollar General for $1, so even cheaper. I thought it was perfect. It says Flower Market on it. And I think I want to do a bee theme with this one. So to fill it up, I'm going to use one of those little foam circles from the Dollar Tree. It fit perfectly in there, but I do want to weigh it down so it doesn't tip over outside. So I fill it up with some stones from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever you have. Some kind of rock, something heavy down there. And then I put the foam in here, filled up that flower pot perfectly. And I think that's going to provide me a great base to be able to make a flower pot solar light. I just put the little hook together. It's really easy to do. And it is going to be the perfect scale, I think, for this project. I wanted to do a bee theme on the solar light. So I thought this would look really cute hanging like this, the little lantern hanging on it, and the flowers all around it. And I want to do bees, of course. So I just went ahead and put that in there, putting the stake all the way down into the rocks and a little bit of hot glue to help reinforce that. So that's what we have so far. This is the great little lantern. I am just going to pop it open, and it has the twinkle lights inside of it. So these are solar twinkle lights as well. And I'm going to add some bees. Now you can get Dollar Tree wood bees, but I've been having trouble finding them. So I found these on Amazon. I have these linked in my Amazon shop, I believe, in the description of today's video. And they were pretty inexpensive as well. And you get a huge bag of little wooden bees. And I love bee crafts, so I use these all the time. They do have double-sided tape on them, but I don't really want that to be seen. So what I did is I took 6 of them and just removed the double-sided tape from both. I'm going to add hot glue to the back. I do let the hot glue cool off a little bit because we're going to be adding these to the electrical cord. I didn't want to melt any kind of protection on there, but I just want to stick them back to back like that, sandwiching the wire in between them. Now, the lines of the twinkle light are going to be like the lines when like a bee flies, right? And so I'm going to do 3. So every other in between the twinkle lights, I did a bee back to back. So it'll look like that there are 3 bees in there flying around inside the lantern, which I thought would be a really fun effect without really having to add too much other stuff inside this because I want to add a lot of other things to the flower pot as well. I just put my lights back into the lantern and screw the top back on. It clicks right back on there. And again, for a solar light, I think for $1.25 that this one is definitely a really good value for the ones that are available at the Dollar Tree. They have so many different kinds right now. For the flowers, I picked up some greenery from the Dollar Tree. I chose these because I just want it to almost look like a bushy plant, right? And I want to have more greenery than flowers with this one. So I just cut them into individual pieces and just start filling up the flower pot with these. I did pick up 2 bundles of it, And I think they're just called plastic foliage or plastic greenery. They didn't have much of a description. And I did the same thing here with the other one, filling this little planter in. And if you have a green thumb, this would be great to do in a real plant as well. I'm trying some outdoor flowers and I've already killed one of them. So wish me luck. And then this is some of, I think this is the summer filler that I got this year at Dollar Tree with like some little yellow berry looking things on them. I thought that would be a fun effect since I'm doing bees. I wanted little touches of yellow in this DIY as well. So I just add some that I had left over. I also have some of the white berries, which I thought would be pretty neutral and go together with it, and just provide a little bit of difference between the different greeneries as well. These cosmos are some little flowers that I thought from the Dollar Tree that kind of look a little bit like wildflowers, something that bees might like. And so I have a few pieces of these left over from other spring DIYs, and we're just going to kind of cut these and put these in there as well. I did want yellow flowers, and the yellow flowers they end up using are actually some fall flowers that I still have left over from the fall, but they're mums, and I just really liked the color for a bee theme. And so I'm not going to use the greeneries. I don't think you'll be able to see any of the brown on them. I'll just take a couple of them and trim them off and put them down into my little honeybee solar light DIY. Now we can't just have bees like flying around in the lantern. I thought we also needed to add some to the greenery as well. But first I'm going to add just a little bit of reindeer moss anywhere that you could see the foam, just to make that look a little bit better. And then I'm going to attach some bees to some of the greenery like they have landed on this plant. So again, I'm just going to take the double-sided tape off. I just prefer to hot glue them on because sometimes the double-sided tape is so thick that you can see it once you attach it. And I don't think it's probably as strong as my Gorilla Glue hot glue. And just here and there, I'm going to have the bees like climbing on the leaves. I think 3 is plenty. And now we can hang our little bee lantern here on the hook, just like that. And such a fun, easy DIY. I think this is perfect for summer. This is how it turned out. Really cute. Everything was from the Dollar Tree except for the bees. And I got the flower pot at Dollar General. Isn't this so bright and fun? This would be great for spring, summer. I think it's really fun. And I'm going to display this, I think, maybe next to my front door. I think it'll look really cute out there. But it was kind of hard to take a picture of it outdoors at night. I just really couldn't get a good night picture. But let me show you what it looks like lit up in my home at night. So you can kind of see the bees look like they are flying around in there. It's all lit up and really cool. Such a fun effect. And I have DIY'd with that solar light before. I think I painted my last one like ivory and made it more of a coastal theme. So this is another variation of that. I love it. For the next summer solar light Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to use one of these lemon glasses from the kitchen aisle at Dollar Tree. And I want to make it into a little lemon lantern using a solar light. The solar light that I'm using is actually one of the solar lights from Dollar General. And then I'm going to use one of the decorative jar lids from the Dollar Tree. One reason I'm using that is because I think that that open grid will allow my solar light to still charge, right? And it can help me block in the top of this because I want to use the glass upright. Otherwise, my lemons just all look like they were upside down. So the first thing I did was just glue the grid into the jar lid, and then I'm going to glue the solar light top into it. Now, you could probably use the solar light from Dollar Tree too. It might be a little bit bigger, and this is a little bit skinnier, the Dollar General solar lights, but they are cheaper at Dollar General. You get 6 for $5. I just filled the gap in with some rope and some hot glue, and that helped glue that entire part together. Now, the fun part, we can decorate the inside. I wanted to kind of go with the theme of lemons, so I did like some fun green leaves and then white flowers like there would be on a lemon tree. So these are the ones I chose from the Dollar Tree. I don't have a lot of room to work in this. This is definitely a little mini summer lantern. And it's going to be a hanging lantern. So it's something that you can hang in your bushes or your trees, or you can even use it just sitting down because it's got the glass bottom on there. I decided that the white flowers looked a little bit better if I separated them. Again, I don't have a lot of room in there, but I do want it to be full. When the light shines down into the lemon glass, I want the flowers and the greenery to light up. I pretty much sealed the top, so I don't think any water will really get in there, using the jar lid and the solar light the way that I did. For the top here, I'm going to start right here where that mesh and the jar lid comes together, and I'm going to start gluing hot glue. This is going to cover up the lid, and it's going to help attach it to the solar light that we already glued under there. But then I'm also going to be using this rope to attach it to the glass cup. It's really, the jar lid and the cup are about the same size, so I'm really going to be stacking that on there. But I went ahead and started the rope all the way around the side of the jar lid, and it kind of adds a decorative touch there too. I'm just using some scrap rope I had, but make sure you have it long enough because you're going to want enough to make a handle as well. Then I laid it onto the glass, and I'm just hot gluing it to the top rim of the glass 2 or 3 times around, just enough to attach it and make it all one piece for this little mini lantern. Once I get enough on there, I'm going to take the extra rope and make a handle. So about halfway, I have the starting rope there be in the back. I'm going to hot glue the same piece straight up the side. Might as well leave it all attached. It's going to make it stronger. And then come down the other side, looping it and making a little hook. For this side, I'm going to hot glue this end down. And I do reinforce this a little bit to make my handle a little bit stronger so it can withstand being hung outside. To do that, I'm going to use just some Dollar Tree twine. It's going to blend in with the rope. You're not even really going to be able to see it. And tie my handle on, going back and forth a couple of times, and then tie that part tight. I thought that would just help reinforce the little hanger on there a little bit. And this was such a fun, easy little solar lantern to do with a fun lemon theme, which I thought was really cute for summer. I know a lot of you guys love decorating with lemons for summer, so I wanted to do one for you. I just burned off any fuzzies from the rope there, and this is how my little solar lemon lantern turned out. That's kind of hard to say. Here it is, and the solar light is all kind of hidden in there, so you really can't notice it during the day. But you see that beautiful lemon glass with the flowers and the greenery inside. And then at night, it lights up and it gives you a really fun pattern. As you can see, the flowers like light up on the ground, like around it. And again, it is a glass solar light, so you're going to want to try to put it somewhere where you don't think it's going to break. But I think these are pretty heavy duty. I think this should last outside pretty well. Really quick little easy DIY, and I think it would be really cute hanging from a tree. If you have a lemon tree, maybe you could decorate it as well. This is how mine looked outside. Now, moving into our Patriotic Solar Lights, I found the solar stake light for $3 at Dollar Tree. It is really cool, but look, I got shorted. There is no stand in mine, the little stake. And of course, I'm crafting at night, so there was nothing I could do about this. So you know what? We're going to problem solve. I think I got the most important part, which is these beautiful twinkly lights here and the little solar charger on there. I want to combine this with a Dollar Tree fun noodle to make a giant exploding firework solar light for the 4th of July. So we're doing the patriotic ones now. So I'm just going to measure about how long I want it to be. I'm having to improvise, of course, because there's no stake. So keep that in mind when you go to make yours. You can make yours really however long you want it to be. I do think I want it to wrap around the little solar light there. So I cut it longer, and then I cut a little slit like this where I'll be able to work that solar light in. I take all of those little exploding lights, right, and just feed them through the center of my fun noodle. And it really doesn't matter what color fun noodle you get. We're going to be covering it as well to make it look more patriotic. I just slide my solar light in there, the little solar panel right up here. I will have to cut like some little grooves here to go around that so that it's not wider down here. So I'm just going to cut like a little pocket here on each side and make this work. If you wanted to stop your firework above the little solar light thing, it might be a little bit easier. But since I was going to have to improvise my own stake on this one, I wanted mine to be a little bit longer. And you get this big exploding firework effect out of the top of it, so it turned out so cool. So just using a sharper knife, I just cut a little groove there for both sides of my little solar charger. And then I'm just going to borrow one of the solar stakes from a solar light because, I usually don't use these anyway. And I think we're going to be able to do this to make our own. It is a little wider than the stake that should have been on there. But since I'm going to have it inside the fun noodle, I think we can make this work. I just add hot glue to the existing solar light and add my stake on there. And then I can glue the fun noodle around it, kind of sandwiching it in. And since this is going outside, I do want this to be really strong. So besides just hot glue for this part at the bottom, I'm going to reinforce it with a little bit of duct tape as well. You won't be able to see any of this in the end, but just to really make sure that this part of it stays together, kind of a crucial part of the solar light. I did a couple rows of duct tape because that is the Dollar Tree duct tape. And then here I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue around the opening to try to make sure that this stays in place. To cover it, I found this great shopping bag from the Dollar Tree, just up by like the checkouts at my store. And I thought it would be great for the 4th of July because of the navy, white, and red colors on this one. And it's like a wavy line. I thought this would be really cute. It's just about the right size for the firecracker that we're making. So the first thing I do is I'm just going to remove the handles, and we are going to use those in this DIY, might as well. And then I'm going to cut the front panel off here with the wavy lines as a sheet of fabric. Whenever I'm in the Dollar Tree, I'm always looking for materials and fabrics that I can use for DIYs. You never know where you're going to find something that's going to be perfect. I did need most of the fabric, so I was only able to cut off the top part of that like that. And I think that will be long enough to fit the entire firework. We will be using the rest of the fabric for the ends because I don't want you to see that fun noodle be all exposed like that. And again, we're going to use the straps as well. So I just take my fun noodle and a chalk pencil. I get those chalk pencils from the Crafter Square at the Dollar Tree. They can be really great for crafting. I just sketch that on the back of that same bag so we can have some navy fabric. And I'm going to cut them out larger than I need them to be. Just 2 circles to do the top and the bottom of the firework so we can completely sandwich the fun noodle in with fabric. It's really easy to just cut. You're going to have to cut an opening in the middle of each one. I just folded mine in half and then in fourths and just cut an opening like that I can feed the lights through and will hopefully kind of close up the top here of my firework. Just like that. If you don't really care about your fun noodle showing, you can skip this step, but I think in the end it did make it look better. I added hot glue to my fun noodle and glued this right on. Now the hot glue will melt your fun noodle a little bit, but for something simple like this and just for the ends, I think it's going to be fine. And again, I did cut my circles a little bit larger. So once I get it on there, I need to go around the sides and glue that part down too. I probably could have cut mine out a little bit larger because I didn't have a lot of overlap here. We're going to be using the red straps that came on the bag as well. And I'm going to use those at the top and the bottom for a pop of red on it. So that will help seal all my different pieces of fabric together. So the same thing here for the bottom. I just fold it into fourths and cut another opening and go over my solar light stake just like that. So this DIY will definitely differ if you get your entire solar light kit. I was so disappointed. I thought maybe it had fallen out, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So definitely check your box before you buy it to make sure that both parts are in there. Good advice. But I've never seen this solar light at Dollar Tree before. Even though it was $3, it's a really nice light that has tons of lights on it. So I think it was well worth the money. For the fabric, I really only need this front panel. So I'm going to take advantage of the fold here to help me be able to cut a semi-straight line here for my fabric. And then I'm going to attach it like this. I want the wavy lines to go from side to side on my giant firecracker. And now that I have my panel, I can just work it around the solar panel. Just like before, I do have to kind of cut a notch. So again, if you didn't want to make yours this long, it might be a little bit easier because you're not going to have to worry about the notch for the the fun noodle and for the fabric, but I like how it turned out. And it does kind of disguise the little solar charger in here. I need to kind of see where my notch needs to be on this side, and I really don't need quite that much fabric. I will be able to trim that a little bit shorter. So I just cut that notch out and cut off my excess fabric. And this fabric is, I don't know what this fabric is made of from the Dollar Tree. It is heat sensitive, so be careful. I am using hot glue and I didn't have a lot of problems, but I have had this fabric from the Dollar Tree melt before, so definitely work sparingly with the hot glue if you can. And then I just glued it on one side, wrapping it around, again, the little notches to go around the solar light and wrapping this tight. It is a durable fabric, so I'm hoping that it holds up well outside. Just testing this to make sure it works. I probably should have done that before I got started, right? And I think my notch needs to be a little bit larger here for this to lay flat. And I might have a little bit too much fabric, so I'm going to trim that down just a little bit before I attach it. I do want the white stripes to go all the way around, and I just overlap my fabric and covering our firecracker. Isn't that so cute? I like the blue and white wavy stripe. I like to mix up the star and stripe combinations on a lot of my Patriotic DIYs, and so I thought that was perfect. This is the red strap from the back. I'm going to use it to, again, kind of trim out my fabrics and help combine them together. And I just hot glue that all the way around. I'm going to do a band at the top and the bottom. And it adds to the firecracker effect too. I think it looks really cute. When I saw this solar light at my Dollar Tree, I thought, oh my God, I have to make a firecracker out of it. It's perfect. And I think it would be so cute if you did a lot of these. You could like line your sidewalk or your landscaping for the 4th of July. Really cute. And even though it's $3, I think it's definitely worth the money. I'm sure it'd probably be more somewhere else. I used the other strap here from the bottom. Again, just hot gluing this on. And we have an exploding firecracker. Let me show you how this turned out. It's really fun. I thought I do need to bend all these down so they look like they're going like every direction. Kind of the wilder, the better if a firecracker is getting ready to explode, and kind of gives you that like fuse kind of explosion tip there. And I think that's gonna work. So let me show you what this looks like in my landscaping during the day. If you can't tell, that's a really big bush behind it. So it's a really large solar light, but I think it turned out really cool. It is patriotic looking with the red, white, and blue, but not too crazy. And this is what it looks like all lit up at night. Super bright and fun, and definitely a fun way to display these solar lights. Isn't that so cool? I thought it was a really fun idea, and I do have more patriotic themed solar lights coming right up. That is probably definitely the most detailed one. The other ones are a little bit more simple. For this one, I'm going to use one of the little star mirror signs from the Dollar Tree, a wood square, and one of their solar table lamps. So these are solar candles. Very cool for a summer DIY. And I'm just using one of those wood squares from the Dollar Tree, giving it a quick sand. It's just rough wood, but I think it's going to be the perfect size to make a little patriotic candle holder for this DIY. I'm going to go in with some of this outdoor paint that I found at the Dollar Tree. I thought it would work for patriotic, but once I got it on there, I decided it was a little bit too royal blue, and most flags are more of a navy, right? So I just mixed some brown paint with it to make a deeper color of blue, and I used that for my second coat. I wanted to use the little white framed star mirror. I thought that would be perfect to make a little candle holder. This would be great for a 4th of July party and to decorate your party and light it up a little bit. The only concern I had with this little plastic framed mirror, it's not the plastic frame or the mirror. The back of it is made out of a cardboard material. And I thought that wouldn't hold up well, especially with a Florida humidity. And if you're going to get yours wet at all, it's definitely not going to hold up. So what I decided to do with mine is just take the back off of it and keep the mirror in the frame. But now it's not attached, so I'm going to have to glue it back in. So I just removed it, cleaned it off a little bit, and I'm going to use hot glue on the rim of the frame to glue it back in. Now, I knew that the hot glue was going to leak on the mirror and probably be visible. And so I do have a plan to kind of fill that in and add a decorative touch to the mirror as well, because as you can see, the hot glue did leak. For the rope, I actually found a Dollar Tree jump rope. I thought this would be really fun because it's blue and white, like a design on the jump rope, and I can just use it for rope to line that frame, and so it'll add a little bit of color to it as well. So I just unwind the jump rope, cut off the handle. Again, you never know where you're going to find crafting materials from Dollar Tree. You got to think outside of the box sometimes, right? And I'm just going to hot glue that all the way around. And I'm glad I did it that way. It did add a fun touch, and it's definitely, I think, going to hold up better than the cardboard. I wish there wasn't cardboard on the back of these mirrors. Now, the 4th of July section at Dollar Tree is very limited. I found this like in the regular like home decor section, the little star-shaped mirror. So that is where I found mine. I thought I could stand this on the back of the wood that we painted blue, and then the little solar candle will light up at night and then reflect off the glass and the star and be really pretty. So for the bottom of the candle holder, I'm actually going to attach stars. And I designed an SVG for my printer of a couple different size stars. These are the larger ones of the two, and I will include a link to the free SVG cutting file if you have a Cricut or a cutting machine and you want to cut out some stars for some of these projects, because we're going to be using them on 3 different projects for Patriotic. I'm just staggering them like you would see on a flag, and I'm going to fill this up 2/3 of the way because we also have the mirror to attach to the back. And this gave me a great flag star pattern there on the front. So I can sit the glass mirror on the back like that. Since this is going outdoors, I was a little worried about my vinyl. It is permanent, but I thought maybe some of the outdoor Mod Podge over it would help seal everything down and make it just a little bit more durable to withstand the 4th of July patriotic season. I guess you could use some of these for Memorial Day for sure as well. So that's what it looks like. I just sealed that and dried it, and now a little hot glue on the bottom corners of my mirror star and attach that to the candle holder. Really cute. And now we just need to attach our little battery operated candle. To turn it on and off, you have to have access to the bottom, so I can't really glue it down. I'm just going to actually sit mine on there just like that. And here it is, our little star mirror. This is what it looks like during the daytime. I was inspired to make this DIY off of the other mirror solar light DIY that I did, where I did a little plant stand underneath of it. And that turned out really cute. So I thought, how can I make like a patriotic themed one? And I definitely wanted to use one of these battery operated candles from the Dollar Tree. So when it's lit up at night, as you can see, you get that reflection of the candle in the mirror, which is exactly what I was going for. And I actually like the effect of the jump rope on there as well. I think that's really fun too. So during the day, it's really pretty. It looked great on a 4th of July party table, and then it will light up when it gets dark outside. And it even is like a candle like this, so it flickers, which is cool. For the next Dollar Tree Solar Light DIY, I picked up one of these blue glasses from the Dollar Tree. It's got a great iridescent sheen on it, and it's got a plastic lid and a straw. And I thought we could make a really easy patriotic solar light with this. The color is perfect. I just have to remove that sticky tag there from the bottom and then attach a solar light. The solar light that I'm using is one from Dollar General. I just like them better, but you could use the ones from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to attach that to the bottom of the cup like this. I'm just going to use hot glue. You might want to use a stronger glue. If you let it set, it should set up. Now, I did end up having to change the design on this. My first thought was, this comes with a plastic straw. I'm only going to be using this in a houseplant. Maybe the plastic straw will be strong enough. It felt pretty strong. But spoiler, you're going to have to use the stake. I did have to fix it. I tested it outside in the sun for a day, and the straw is definitely not strong enough. But this was my first attempt. When I was trying to use the plastic straw for the actual stake, I thought that would be a fun idea. I just hot glued mine in place and set that aside to dry. And then once that was dry to the glass, I unscrewed the solar light. In the end, I end up reattaching the solar light. So keep that in mind. For the top of the solar light, which is going to be the bottom of the glass, I want to cover it with flag stripes. So I picked up some flag ribbon from the Dollar Tree. This one has both stars and stripes, but I thought I can just cut it in half and just get the stripes because we already have the blue cup. We're going to add stars to it, and that's going to be the star part of our flag. So I really only need this part. So I just cut that section out. I'm going to go ahead and leave the finished edge on there. I think that's fine. And then it has a wire in there, which I don't really even need, so I just went ahead and pulled that out as well. But this is going to cover up that silver section there at the top where the solar light is to help hide that a little bit. I just use hot glue to attach the ribbon. You could leave this step out, but I think it definitely did add a pop of color with the red and white flag stripes. I use a little hot glue here and overlap it slightly here on the top of my solar light. And I just found these glasses in with like the kitchen glasses and stuff like that in the kitchen aisle at the Dollar Tree, but I love the blue color. Now, these are the little flag stickers that I made with my Cricut. A great way. I tried it on the inside to see if I could get away with that because that would protect it a little bit better. But you know what? It looked so much better on the outside. We're going to do our stars on the outside. And we're just going to stagger them all over. I don't do a super even pattern on this, just whatever works. I want it to be fun and whimsical like flag stars. And so I like alternate 2 or 3 going up and down and staggering them, going all the way around the cup with my little DIY white stickers. I guess if you could find some stickers, you wouldn't even have to make your own. But again, I will include the Star SVG file. These are the smaller stars of the 2 that I have on the cup file. And then here is the glass lid. I just popped it on like that. And this was my first attempt at my solar light. I thought it'd be cool for the light to shine up the entire glass like this without using the solar light into it. But this is what it looked like after a day in the Florida sunshine. Didn't work, but it was a fun experiment. So I do want the bottom or the top of the cup still. So I just went ahead and removed the hot glue and removed the straw. We're just going to have to cut that plastic a little bit more to accommodate the rest of the solar light that came with it, like this. So I'm going to have to cut that little circle a little bit larger, but it's made out of plastic, so it's pretty easy to do. Just kind of seeing about how big I need that to be. So I just trimmed out a little circle here. I don't want it to be larger. I don't want any moisture getting inside of it, but I put the little plastic lantern in there to see if that was going to work and then pop it all back together. Now, I don't really like it with the plastic part being on the bottom like that. I might as well just reattach the solar light and just make it into a cover like that. So I just fed it down further, screwed it back onto my solar light, reattached the stake, and now this one I think will be much more durable to withstand being outside. I thought I would use mine just in a houseplant. I have next to my door a little palm tree. I thought that would be really cute just to put that in there, but really you could use this in any landscaping. Really patriotic and fun for Memorial Day or 4th of July, and a fun use for that pretty blue glass from the Dollar Tree. Definitely stronger than the straw. Don't do the straw. You've been warned. And this is what it looks lit up out in my landscaping at night. You still get a fun pattern even though the lamp's inside because you get all those stars lighting up at night, and it looks really pretty during the daytime as well. And my little snail's making an appearance back there from the Dollar Tree. And this is what it looks like during the day, again, and at night. For the next Patriotic Solar Light DIY, I wanted something even easier, so check this one out. I found a hand soap dispenser from the bathroom aisle at the Dollar Tree, and they have them in different colors of plastic. I know they have blue and clear, because I picked up both of them. I thought they were cool to craft with. And then this is a solar light that I got at Dollar General. I'm just going to make a little lampshade that I can take on and off of a solar light so I can leave the solar light out there all the time and just have a lampshade, and a lampshade that's themed for the 4th of July. So again, I'm going to be using the white Cricut cutouts that I've made of stars, and these are the smaller ones as well. And I'm just going to do a couple couple in each row and just stagger these around. It is like a textured surface to the outside of the little lampshade for our solar light, but the Cricut vinyl is the permanent vinyl, so I think it's going to be fine. And I can just slide it right on and slide it off. So I thought this was such a fun idea. I'm not sure if they have them in red, but if they did, you could do like blue, clear, red, or just blue and red. But this is how it turned out. I thought it was such a fun DIY. When I saw these little plastic soap dispensers at my Dollar Tree, I was like, I bet I could do something for the 4th of July with these. And the lampshade idea is really fun. And I like the fact that it's temporary as well, because after 4th of July is over, I can just have a regular solar light, or knowing me, I will probably try to customize it into something else. Isn't that quick and easy? I tried to include lots of quick and easy solar light DIYs today, in addition to some of the more detailed ones. For the next solar light DIY, we're going to mix it up and do like tropical luau theme. I picked up one of these hanging solar lights from the Dollar Tree. It's got a great plastic hanger on it. It's got this great crackle glass bulb on it, which I will definitely save for another DIY. But I thought this would be perfect to combine with the little flamingo plastic cups they have in the summer section at Dollar Tree right now. And then you can have some little hanging light up flamingos that you can use to decorate for your luau, or if you just want some pink flamingos in your landscaping. The straw is built into these cups, which is super strange. I'm going to try to take advantage of it though. What I did was just snip the straw off on the top and the bottom. It's kind of up to you whether you leave the flower petals on there for the feathers of the flamingo. I left mine on, but you could totally pull those off if you wanted. See how that fits in there almost perfectly? And the straw opening there fits the solar light through it. Now, the only problem if you leave the flowers on there is there's lots of different layers of flowers. So to get your plastic lid really attached where it's going to be strong, you're going to have to glue your different layers together. So I tried to do that. I tried to pull it apart and glue the different layers down until I got that plastic lid attached. So if you wanted to make yours without the petals, it would probably be even easier to glue this part on because, again, I had to make sure that mine was really going to be stuck in there. I didn't want my little flamingo to fall off. But look how that straw opening works perfectly with the little light inside the solar light. So be sure to look for this hanging one. It's just the perfect size. It's also made out of black plastic. The flamingo is made out of pink plastic and has a little black beak. And so I think that it's going to really coordinate well. I just screw it onto my little cup like that, using that existing lid. And how easy was that? Look how fun and tropical this looks hanging in front of my house and one of my bushes. You could do a bunch of these and put them all over. And again, if you were having like a luau tropical themed party, these would be perfect. And how easy were those to put together? I don't think you really need to paint the flamingo or anything. I think just leaving it plastic gives you a great effect. This is what it looks like lit up at night. It was very bright, even though you think the plastic wouldn't be super bright, but it does definitely let the light out like this. And the hooks are really versatile, so you should be able to hang that on lots of different things. My bushes are relatively trimmed, so I'm able to just hang them on there just like that. Isn't that so fun? I always love a good pink flamingo DIY. I got to throw one of those in there. For the next solar light DIY, I'm going to make a palm tree solar light using one of the summer glasses from the Dollar Tree. Now, this is a light up glass, but when you push the button, it only lights up for a few seconds. I wanted to add a solar light to mine to make a fun tropical party decoration or palm tree decoration for my solar light. I have made one of these before with one of the blue ones, and I didn't really like how its durability was out in the Florida sunshine. So I thought I would try again and try a different design here by trying to leave the top of my palm tree more intact and then combining that with a solar light. I'm only going to be using the top of the solar light, and the solar light I got was from the Dollar General for the size comparison. I'm going to use some rope to help attach everything and give a lot of detail to the palm tree so it's not just pink, right? So this was my plan, just to cut a square here with my razor blade through this plastic. It's not very thick, so this was pretty easy to do. And just a square enough that will let my solar light charge during the day. Just like that. I think the last time I made one of these here on my channel, I cut the petals and attached them. I know that they fell off. That part I know. So I wanted to give it a second go to see if I could make a palm tree solar light. So I'm going to glue it here on the underside. It fits in there perfectly. I just hot glue it on, lining up my squares. I still have enough room for the palm tree to go on top there, but it won't click on. So I need something to help with that. I'm going to use Dollar Tree rope. So the first thing I do is just start by gluing the solar light onto the plastic. This again is going to help reinforce it, make everything look really pretty. And then I can actually use that rope to attach it to the top of the palm tree. Now, I went ahead and put mine together, and I kind of skipped a step here in a minute. So what I would have done differently is way down the bottom with some rocks. I meant to put some pebbles down there, and I didn't. So mine's a little tippy right now, and I probably should have put some rocks in it. So learn from me, don't forget to weigh down the bottom of your palm tree. I was so excited to try to put this all together, I forgot. So I put some hot glue there, put my palm tree on there upside down, and then I'm going to continue my rope, gluing that to the sides. That's going to help hold everything together and hopefully make this palm tree design a little bit more sturdy than the last one that I came up with on my channel. It was the same kind of cup, I think, except it was blue. So they do come in different colors for sure. And I like the idea of lighting them up. I guess that's traditionally what it's for, right? With the light up bottom. Now, I thought it would be fun to do some rope rows going down. So it'll make the light be different sections and have bands like a palm tree sometimes has. I thought that would be a fun touch. So I'm going to start here and just cutting that same rope into little circular pieces to go around. I'm just going to hot glue that to my cup. Now I do want my palm tree to still light up though. So I don't want to cover the entire tree with it. So what I ended up doing was skipping every other one for the rope. And I'm glad I added the rope to the outside of my palm tree because, you know, palm trees technically aren't pink. So I thought it kind of made it look a little bit more like a tree in the final project. And I just do that all the way down my solar light tree. Just have to keep in mind that you have to have each piece of rope be separate. You don't want to keep winding it because it's not a spiral fashion. They just go all around. They're like circular like this. And I do that all the way to the bottom of our little palm tree. It added a fun effect and texture to it besides just all of the plastic on the DIY. And it ties it into the rope that we needed to use there on the top. I'm just going to quickly burn off the fuzzies there from our little palm tree solar light. And I love how this turned out. I think this one's going to be more successful. I do wish I've weighted down the bottom with some pebbles. So definitely keep that in mind if you're going to recreate this for summer, coastal, or a luau themed party. I think that this would be really fun. What do you guys think about our little palm tree solar light? I tried to do lots of different themes today. I'm trying to do, you know, summer, nautical, patriotic. We got a little luau party. And coming up next, we're going to go straight coastal and do some beach themed solar light DIYs. I have 10 solar light DIYs that I've made with the beach theme that I've done here on my channel. And a lot of them turned out really pretty. So I wanted to include them in today's video as well. For the next one, we're going to try 3 of the summer plastic seashell cups. These are little iridescent like seashells, and I thought these were really cute because they're kind of opaque. And I thought we could do 3 of them, put them together, and make like a hanging solar light arrangement with the little solar light sticks from the Dollar Tree. Now, they had these at the Dollar Tree. Also, they have a clear blue mermaid tail that I think would be really cute with this as well. I chose these because they were more opaque. I thought it would look really good with the lights in the side of them. So I just need the bottoms of the cups and I just need the tops of the solar lights, and we can start putting these together. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is just start hot gluing some rope around the edges of these because, again, they had like the little screws there for the cap. And I just want to kind of cover those up and make it look a little bit more coastal. With this Dollar Tree rope, it doesn't take a lot to cover that up. And then I'm going to cut that down and glue it to it. Now we're going to go in and do the same thing on the other 3. So basically I am doing the rope on the little plastic cups separately from doing the rope on the side of the solar lights. That way I can take them apart if I need to and replace the lights. And you'll see how I string all these up as well. So just covering up that screw part on all 3. And mine just worked perfectly if you just went around with the rope about 3 times. And I hung this in my floor room. It's kind of in front of my curtains. I don't know if it's charging properly there, so I'm probably going to have to move it. Thinking about hanging it right outside my floor room, like maybe above my bench out there. And maybe it will work a little bit better because I think maybe I just blocked all the light from it. But I'm just going to burn off the fuzzies on those ropes to clean those up a little bit, and then we can start putting the little solar lights on them. Now, you guys asked for solar light DIYs with a coastal feel, and I think I may have went a little crazy making 20, but I wanted to give you guys a wide variety and lots of ideas that you could use. So I just used that Dollar Tree twine. I just cut out a rather large piece and glue that on the inside so we can make little hangers. I want to hang them all together, like in one little arrangement, kind of like you would hang like a wind chime or buoys or something like that, but just with seashells. So I do that on all 3. So right now they're still kind of all separate pieces, but they all have long rope handles. Now I just do a bead of hot glue all the way around and just glue on one of those little solar lights to the top, kind of sandwiching in the handle. That's going to make the handle a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here with the other 2. I don't know if you guys have allergies really bad right now where you live, but where I live in Florida, I have been suffering for weeks. My eyes are completely swollen shut in the morning. Now they're like, crusted shut. Oh my gosh, I have been struggling so hard with my allergies. All of my normal things are not working, and I'm really not wanting to go to the doctor to get a prescription for some steroids, but I probably should. Today, I reverted to trying some herbal medications for it, and actually, I think I might have had a little bit better effect with them, but it's so embarrassing. I can't wear my contacts, and everywhere I go, my eyes are all swollen. It looks like I've been in a fight or something. Hopefully it's about over because I can't take much more of it. So as you can see, I'm just tying them to each other, like right above their solar light. I just loop that around and tie it, and I do that on both of them. You want to make sure that you don't get them so close that the light from one is too bright for the solar panel on the bottom because, again, they only turn on when it's dark. So I tried to stagger them, like completely kind of one completely on top of another. And that seemed to work. I also wanted them to hang a little bit straighter. So I'm just going to glue the twine on the sides of the little solar lights. And as you can see, that one in the middle is a different kind of light. That's why I put it in the middle, because it was different. But I guess some of those lights from the Dollar Tree do have that smooth surface on the side. So if that's what you're looking for, you might be able to find those as well. Again, they have so many varieties. I couldn't believe it. And I just leave the silver on these. I think it's fun. It adds to the coastal feel. And this is how they look hanging during the daytime. Very cute white shells. I'm going to use these year round, but these would be great for a beachy decor. These would also be great for a party for decorations. And these are how they look lit up at night. I think that the opacity of the plastic, I think it makes them really bright, like they really glow white, and I think they turned out really fun. I like that I grouped them all together like that. Okay, so this is also from the Short Living line. This is My favorite one, it says sand in my favorite beach. They have these like different sayings and stuff like that. But if you can't find the beachy ones like this, the Shore Living line, I think they kind of have these kind of year round. You could kind of take the paint off and kind of make it your own if you wanted to. But not the sand from my favorite beach, but sand from my favorite Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut the end off of a baggie to make it easier to get it in there without a funnel. I'm going to fill it up, not all the way, because I do want some area to be able to light up with my solar light. And this is one of the metal solar stakes from the Dollar General. This is the one that was only $1. It's smaller, and I thought that would be a good fit for this smaller jar. Again, we're using those little bottled seashells from the Dollar Tree. I put a good variety in there and make it look real beachy on the top of our sand. And see, this has like a small top. So I think this Dollar General $1 metal solar stake is going to be a good fit because it's a lot smaller, as you can see. So if you needed something smaller diameter, definitely check Dollar General, and it was cheaper. So win-win, right? So I was trying to decide, the metal just pops right off on this one. So I thought I would just cover this one with burlap as well, using one of those burlap bags from the Dollar Tree. I just used the little metal ring that was on it for reference to know how big to cut this. And that looks pretty good. I was trying to decide if I should include the silver part or just leave the black plastic. It doesn't really matter. But I was struggling to cut a straight line, but I think I got it. I decided to just go with the black plastic, eliminate a piece, and just hot glue that all the way around. Now, the only trouble I had with the Dollar General solar light compared to the Dollar Tree one is it has an on-off switch inside, which is great, but it did kind of get in the way for this project, and I'll show you what I mean. I do want to have some hangers on this, so I do go ahead and take some Dollar Tree twine and just kind of tie that around, kind of leaving that until I go ahead and get the light on there. So I just hot glue the lip, and I was just expecting to be able to put that on there, but I think the little power switch was like kind of getting in the way. So it did want to go on there super flat, and it was trying to like turn off the button on there. So I just pull it off, and we're going to kind of use that twine that we just used for the hanger to kind of fill that in, I think. Then that just kind of gives me a surface to glue onto the top of the jar, and problem solved. So I wanted to show you that you could even do it with like the skinny bottles like that, especially if you have a smaller solar light like that one from Dollar General. Now I kind of wanted like a hanger. I kind of wanted it to have like 4 strings though. So I do another piece of twine, knotting that off on the other side, and that gives me like 4 strings that I can like pull up to the top and kind of just knot them all together to make a little hanger for this. So this little bottle can hang. Always a fun option, especially for a bottle. And it's small, so it's not going to be very heavy. And that's how it looks. And this is how it looks hanging in the daytime. It's super cute. I always love these little sand bottles with a little burlap on the top. Not real obvious that it is a solar light during the day. But I kind of think you could use this, you know, just sitting on its bottom, but I kind of like it hanging. And this is how it looks at night with some cute little Dollar Tree shells in there. Super coastal and fun. I hope you guys are enjoying all of these coastal solar light DIYs. I had a really great time putting all of these together. I did 20. Okay. This isn't a plastic cup, but it is plastic. These are those little terrariums from the Dollar Tree. So I thought, hey, why not? It's a giant light bulb. Let's see if we can make this one into a solar light too. And let's see if we can make it coastal while we're at it. So again, using some of the Beach Fairy Garden. These were a great excuse to use these as I have so many Beach Fairy Garden figurines from this year.
And I used so many today. Okay, so I just glue the little palm tree right in the center of the light bulb like that. That's about all I think is going to fit in there. It's not super big. Now, it does have the hole in the side of it. And so that does pose a little bit of issue because I do pour a little brown sand in there. So I can't do very much because I don't want it all dumping out on the side of the hole. Now, I was trying to determine, could I attach the little solar light to that hole in the back? But I found it was really distracting. If you looked through the light bulb, you could see the black plastic. You could see the big silver thing sticking out the side of the light bulb. And it just kind of seemed unnatural there. So I'm just going to leave the hole open. And we're just going to replace the top of the little light bulb with the solar light instead. It's not what I originally planned, but it worked so much better that way. So I just glue around. And this is a little bit wide for the solar light. And I do want to hang it as well. So before I go ahead and put it on there, I'm just going to put some twine in there and glue that on the inside of each side so that I can hang this. And I actually hung this from like a plant hook out in my Florida room. So one of those smaller ones from Dollar General would probably work better because it was a little wide for the top of the light bulb, but we'll disguise it a little bit with some Dollar Tree rope. Just to make it look more intentional and to cover up all the area there that we had to expose by taking the top of the light bulb off. So just using that thinner Dollar Tree rope, I'm just going through and filling that in. I'm also kind of sandwiching in that hanger, which is going to make the hanger stronger as I hot glue the rope over the sides. And again, if I could do this over again, I would probably use the smaller one, but I didn't have a smaller one at the moment, so we're going to make it work. So once I get there, I'm going to cut that off and glue that down, trying not to dump all of my sand out. But I think the little palm tree with the little surfboard is so cute in there. And there is a little hanging light bulb. I think we made it work, and it lights up really well. So this is how the little light bulb terrarium from the Dollar Tree looks, combined with a solar light. And of course, we gave it that coastal beachy touch with the rope and the little palm tree and sand inside. Super fun, and this is great to hang because it's plastic, so if it falls, you're not going to have to worry about broken glass or anything like that.
And it's actually held up pretty well. I have this hanging next to my door out in my Florida room, and if it gets super windy, I might get a little sand on the ground, but so far, so good with this one. And it's a fun way to use those little terrariums from the Dollar Tree if you are lucky enough to find one.
This is another smaller scale, but I found this candle holder at the Dollar Tree too. I think it's slightly coastal just because it's that beautiful like blue color, but it's got that beautiful like silver like bracelet around the top of it, like collar. And I thought that would actually match like the silver on the top of the solar light. So we could do something really pretty, but I thought that pattern on the jar would look really pretty at night if we lit that up. So I'm just going to kind of weigh mine down a little bit just to have something in it to weigh it down. So I just used some white pebbles from the Dollar Tree, nothing that's really going to take away from the color on that. And then we can just attach that just straight on with no rope or burlap or anything on the sides. I do kind of want to make a hanger for this one as well. It's always nice to have that option to hang something up, especially a tiny one like this. And I'm just going to hot glue all that on the inside of the jar, kind of like we did before. And then when we glue the solar light on there, it's going to kind of seal that on there. And I'm using this one on my table in my Florida room as well. I just kind of lined some of the smaller ones up, and they look so bright together, all in combination. So I just hot glue that on there. It's a perfect size for that small jar. And again, we're just leaving the silver sides to kind of go with the silver glam effect. But of course it needs something coastal, right? These are the little blue starfish. I get these on Amazon. They are linked in my Amazon shop below. I get the ivory colored ones, but also the blue ones. And they are so cute and fun to DIY with. So check those out if you need some little tiny starfish to decorate with. But I just glue that onto the front of the solar light just to give it a small coastal touch. You could always do that on both sides as well. But I think that's pretty good. I don't think it needs anything else. So this is how one of the solar light DIYs look if you just leave it exposed. I did find in one of these DIYs that some of them have the smooth silver outside, but most of the ones I found had that texture on it. But either way, they're both pretty cool. But look at, this is how it looks at night. Isn't that beautiful? The light that it disperses everywhere is such a beautiful pattern. So I'm really glad that I picked up this little candle holder as well. And that's not a shore living candle holder. That's just in the regular light candle aisle. Okay, this one I wanted to go bigger. So this is one of those large jars from the Dollar Tree. And then this isn't a solar light. This is a battery operated light, but it's also from Dollar Tree. It's got a little on off switch on it, and it's got a little light bulb inside that's filled with like little string lights all wound around, but it's the perfect size for this large jar. So I thought we could do kind of a beach scene with the fairy garden stuff, but do it on a larger scale. So I love all the beach items they have for Fairy Garden this year. They have this little lounger beach chair and a little beach arrow sign. And I'm going to use those. Also, that little sand bucket over there and that little shorebird. And I'm just going to be attaching these with hot glue to the bottom of the jar just to make sure they stay in place. Kind of scattering these all over. So we're going to do like a really fun beach scene, but light it all up with that Dollar Tree light. I thought the little sand bucket goes well with those items. And then I had a little bit of room left, so I do the shorebird as well. There's so many cute ones. I try to only buy one of each. I think I might have got a couple of the sea turtle one though, because I love it. And just make sure those are all secure. Now, once I get those hot glued down, I'm going to go in like I did on the sea turtle, and we're going to fill in the bottom of the jar with Dollar Tree sand to make it look like a little beach scene. So just sprinkle enough in there to kind of cover the bottom, but not really cover any of the cute decor. That's what it looks like so far. Super cute, super beachy, I think. And this jar is really nice. I've used the smaller ones before, but I've never seen it in this large size. But look how perfectly the little battery operated light like fits on top of that wide jar. I think that's gonna work perfectly. So I'm just going to attach it with hot glue. The on off switch is on the top of it, so you should still be able to turn it on and off. You should also be able to still change batteries if you wanted to. And it's also got the little metal hanging hook on there so that you can hang this as well. Now, I did kind of want to like cover up the edges of the jar where you could screw the lid on and kind of cover up that light to make it look a little bit more coastal. So I just cut down 2 pieces of that white nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. And we're just going to go all the way around with those to cover up the little screw ridges that were there on the side of the jar and give it a coastal feel. I kind of wanted to see what it would look like using a different kind of Dollar Tree rope. So we're going with the white one for this one. It did kind of give a different vibe to this. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this as well, just to kind of continue that rope theme. And just going around and around with this one until all of it's covered except for the very, very top. And make sure you don't burn yourself. I think I burnt myself on this one. It hurts so bad. That hot glue gun, I love it, but man, it is incredibly hot. So that looks pretty good. And I can't really show you too well because ever all the sand kind of dumps to one side, but let me show you what this looks like. this is how it looks turned on, but in the daytime. So that white nautical definitely gives you a different feel to the top of this. But there's our little beach scene right inside. And you could hang this with rope with the hangers, or you can sit this around. This would be great indoors or outdoors for summer, I think. This is what it looks like all lit up at night. And make sure you get your little strings of hot glue there. I think I had a couple of them trapped inside. Okay, next DIY is one of these little LED lanterns from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. This one is like the palm tree, so very tropical. Now, this does have a little candle already in it. I'm not going to use it that way, though. We're going to convert this into a solar light project. And I was able to find a square solar light at Dollar Tree, so I thought that would work really well right on the top of that. So I just popped out the little candle and see how that fits in there just perfectly. I found though that out of all my Dollar Trees, these were probably the hardest ones to find, because I did try to go back and get another one, and I went to like 3 stores and I couldn't find another one. But I kind of want to still make it as a stake. So I'm trying to figure out how I can take it apart, add it to this piece, and then make a stake for my landscaping. Now, I wasn't that impressed with these lanterns, so I only bought a couple of them. I kind of wish I would have bought more because they're really cute with this. So I'm going over the wood with just a blue paint. It's just a Caribbean blue that I lightened with white. And we're going to go over there, but I'm also making sure I don't get like any paint like in the cracks of the design, because I don't want it to dry that way. I'm not going to worry about the inside of the lantern box because you're not going to be able to see it. So just going on all 4 sides and doing a thin coat of paint. It doesn't take much to paint that like raw wood from the Dollar Tree. Just trying to clean up any of the cracks there with the tree as well. Using a Cricut weeder seemed to work pretty well. And then just kind of wipe off the excess paint with a paper towel. I don't want it too thick. And then I also am just going to, since I already have that paint mixed, I'm just going to paint the top of the solar light that same color, just to make it like, you know, kind of blend in a little bit with the box and make it look like it's all one piece. So I just paint all the way around the solar panel and all 4 sides just of the top though. Now trying to put it together. This has a stake like inside there, and it has like a square base. Now, I thought that I could just glue it on there, but there were some little notches on there, and I thought I could just glue them on like that. But I found that the little notches that were sticking up really were causing me issues and not wanting it to glue down. But then I figured out a better way. I'm just going to take this and go ahead and like install the stake by flipping it around and then putting hot glue on the bottom of the base and feeding it through the lantern like that and gluing it to the bottom. And that construction worked better. Definitely sturdier. And the hole where the candle was made the perfect hole for the yard stake. Now it's just a matter of putting this together. I'm going to leave the little windows on there. I think that's fine. I don't think that's going to cause any problems. I just need to attach it. And again, I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue all around the edges. Just because I don't necessarily want it to be permanent with the solar light. Because you know, Dollar Tree electronics, you can't always trust them. And then I just put the solar light on top. It's a perfect fit with these. And just put my stake back on there and it's ready to go. I think it's so pretty. I love this DIY as well. So let me show you. This is how it looks again in the daytime. It's nice and pretty. It's coastal and blue. You don't really necessarily know what it's going to do until you light it up in your landscaping. And
You might want to have it like in an area that doesn't get a ton of rain. I had it here in my landscaping, like out front, like under, it wasn't under my roof line or anything like that. And we get some torrential downpours here in Florida, and it was falling apart from getting wet. So you might want to protect it, maybe put it in a houseplant on your porch or something like that.
Next, Dollar Tree Solar Light DIY. I'm going to use one of these little shore living jars. This is the bumpy one. That's like that beautiful like teal color. And it's great because it's already got like a wire hanger on it and everything. And another one of these little solar lights from the Dollar Tree. I didn't realize how many different varieties of the solar lights they have at the Dollar Tree. They have like 4 or 5, maybe more. Now, I kind of want to cover up that little metal pattern on the outside of it. So I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree rope. This is like, I think the thinner one. And I just start gluing that all around. What I want to do is sit this on top of the jar to light the jar up. But I want to kind of just make it look a little bit more coastal. And so I thought rope would be a good option. So I just go over the sides. Cut that down to size and glue it on. I think I made this one way and then I kind of went back and fixed it a little bit once I saw what it looked like in the dark. But at first I just screwed off the base like that and left the little light thing on there. And I'm just going to hang it like that. So I just attach it with hot glue because I do kind of want it to be removable. If the little light goes out, I can always replace it with a new one because hot glue is usually pretty easy to disassemble if you want to. And that looks really cute like that. But what I found was when I went and tested this in the dark, the little light fixture, if you leave it on there, it kind of focuses all the light right there instead of lighting up the whole jar, which is what I wanted. So I just popped that off and took the plastic piece off and reattached the top. I did that on a couple of them and I went back on both of them and removed that. I usually removed that piece on all of today's DIYs. Now I thought it was a little plain, so I thought we could take it up a notch by adding a Dollar Tree Shore Living sand dollar to the front by just hot gluing that on to the glass. If you want that to last a little bit longer, you're probably going to want to use like E6000 or something like that. But we're going for convenience today, and that's how that one turned out. I'm going to show you a similar one that I did too. This is also from the Shore Living line. It's that same color, but this one is like a fish scale or mermaid scale all over. And I'm going to kind of do the same treatment on this one. And I kind of display these the same way in my landscaping out in front of my house, but this one's really pretty too, I think. Now, I kind of wanted to do the same thing that we did with the last one, but instead of the sand dollar, we're going to use one of the little starfish from the Dollar Tree. I like the contrast of the white on the blue. I think that's going to look really cute. I can kind of make a pair. They're the same color, but they're different. They have different items on them. They have different patterns on them. So I just hot glue the little starfish to the front of that jar as well. And then we can start DIYing the little solar light to go on top. Now, these solar lights, make sure you test them before you buy them. Pull out the little cardboard piece because, man, some of them I did not test. And I think I had to throw away like 3, maybe more, maybe 3 or 4 because I didn't test them. So lesson learned. But I just hot glued that on the top of my jar, and then I'm just going to go around and finish this one off with rope, just like I did with the last one. You can do the rope part after you attach them to the jar like this, or you can do it while it's still attached to the stake, just kind of whatever you want. I do want to just kind of cover the top of it. Again, so if I do want to switch out the solar light to a new one, like next year, I would be able to do that pretty easily. So just leaving the little solar panel there on the top, exposed, so we can expose that to the light. And if you wanted to weigh these down to make them sturdier to put on the ground, that would be really easy with pebbles or rocks or something like that. But what I'm going to do is hang mine. Now, this is what they look like in the daylight. our little jar solar lights. I think they're so pretty. And then what I did to display them in my garden is I found some of those little plant hangers, I guess they're called, from the Dollar Tree. I picked up 2 of these, one for like each side of my sidewalk, like near my entryway, and I hung them in my landscaping. And so let me show you what these look like at night outside. This is the one with the sand dollar. This one's probably lit up a little bit more than the other one because I do have some like dusk to dawn lights on the front of my garage. But this is the other one that's a little closer to the garage, and this is how this one looks hanging at night, all lit up. I think they're so pretty. I might reinforce them to the hook with a little bit with maybe some wire or something, just because we do get a lot of wind and storms here in Florida. Okay, next DIY, I'm going to use one of these large like canning jars from the Dollar Tree. This is another version of the solar light. I find that the light on top of it is pretty much the same size. As you can see, it is like a smooth, shiny surface on the outside, but it's definitely going to fit even on this like large jar. I wanted to do kind of like a dangly coastal display in this one. So I'm just filling up the bottom of it with some Dollar Tree tan sand to kind of give me that beachy vibe. I don't want to decorate it too much, but I do want it to have a little bit of decoration. So again, I'm using some of those little tiny starfish that I get on Amazon. These are the ivory ones. They are different sizes, but they all come together. Sometimes you only get the tiny ones, but sometimes you get those larger ones too. I like the variety. And so I'm just going to kind of like toss some of those in there. What I want to hang down inside this solar light is one of those little dangly sand dollars. So I thought starfish on the bottom would be a nice touch to go with a little sand dollar. And these are from the Shore Living line. These are little wood beads with little hanging decor. I'm going to use the sand dollar for this one. I'm not a big fan of the navy on there though. I really kind of want to stick with the beachy blue and the white, and it's too long anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and take them all off and then just alternate like turquoise and white from the beads that were already on there. But then I have to determine how long I want it to be because I want it to be able to like hang down in there. I think I ended up going with like 5 beads and then tying that off. And then I thought we could attach that to the solar light and like let it dangle down inside the jar. And again, this is a canning jar from the Dollar Tree, but definitely the larger one. So there is a little hole where the little light comes out. So I'm actually going to take advantage of that and just try to glue my twine into that with my hot glue. I was afraid it wasn't going to stay in place though, so I also like hot glue down like the very top bead to the plastic on the underside so that the light will shine down on it, but like be like right next to it and dangle down inside the jar like that. Now it fit in there perfectly with just friction, so I just popped it on there, no glue at all. But I do want to cover the sides where it like all screws in there on the jar to make it look a little bit more finished. This is that macrame rope that I've just recently been able to find at Dollar Tree, but you could always use like any kind of cotton twine, like cooking twine, stuff like that. It's going to give you that same feel. This, I like it because it's like working with the jute twine, but you're going to get a different feel when you use that white color. And I'm just stringing that all the way along the sides of the jar, but also on the sides of the solar light as well, all the way to the top. And I try to show you, but it messes up all my starfish, so you're just going to have to wait. Be patient. But I do kind of want to break up the colors on the top, so I thought I would use a little turquoise paint and paint like half of that macrame rope, this beautiful like turquoise color. It's like the same color as the wood beads inside. Kind of give it like a two-tone effect, and it definitely painted really well. It's okay if I don't get like complete coverage. It's going to give it a little bit of that coastal farmhouse feel that I'm always going for with these DIYs. But this was really easy to put together, and I think it's definitely really unique, and it turned out really pretty. So we're going to give that a quick dry, and then I can show you how this little DIY turned out. So there's our blue and white macrame lid with our blue and white beads hanging down to display a beautiful little wood cutout of a sand dollar, and finish it up with some Dollar Tree sand and some little tiny starfish on the bottom. So that's how it looks like during the daytime. And then this is how it looks all lit up at night. I think it's so pretty. I love the little dangly effect of that. I think that makes that jar candle like really unique. I guess it's a jar of light, not a jar candle, right? Okay, next DIY. This is another one of the canning jars from the Dollar Tree, but this is the smaller one. I wanted to see if we could do something really easy and fun with a solar light from the Dollar Tree and some of those glass stickers. I do have some of the Shore Living ones, and I thought maybe we try the dolphin one. Now this one, I really need the lid. So without like the canning top, I think we can make this work by attaching the little solar light to the lid, because I'm going to need it to be removable. And you'll see why here in a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put hot glue around the rim on the top of the solar light and just glue that directly on top of the canning lid. It is a little bit smaller in diameter, and they're different colors, but we'll cover that up and make it work. I'm just using some of that thicker twine from Walmart, and I'm just gluing that on. I'm going to wrap that all the way around the jar lid and also the sides of the solar light, kind of making them look more uniform and like I did it on purpose. But since this is not rope, this is the twine, it's going to take a little bit more to wrap that around and hot glue it on. I'm also going to go in and kind of clean it up with a lighter just to burn off some of the fuzzies. Now, what I thought would be really fun to do with this jar was to kind of do like a colored water, like make it look like ocean water inside and then like do a dolphin on the side. I kind of wanted to do fish, but I didn't really have anything. But you could be really cute if you wanted to make a fish or something like that with your Cricut, or if you did have a fish. But this isn't going to fit. So what I'm going to do is cut this down and just use the smaller dolphin and just put that on the side of my jar. Now, one thing I noticed with these glass stickers that I've never noticed before with this is that I did get a little bit of bubbling, and it's obvious at night. I don't know if that will go away. The jar was clean, and so I don't know. But I just take it and fill the whole jar up with hot water, and I thought we could dye it. I don't go all the way to the top because I don't want the water to mess with the electronics of the light. But I'm just going to add some blue food coloring and mix that up. I thought that was maybe a little too blue, so I do go pour some of that out and add a little bit more water to tone it down a little bit to give me a beachy blue. And that's why I needed the jar lid, is so that I can go in there, I can change out the water, I can empty it out if I need to. I could always fill it up with something else like sand and shells if I got tired of the water look. But I thought this was another fun variety and something different from what we've already done. So here's a little solar light DIY filled with some blue water and a little glass sticker from the Shore Living line, little dolphin. As you can see, it looks great during the day, but let me show you what it looks like at night. See how it's got like the air bubbles in there? And I did try the other dolphin too after I cleaned and made sure there was no dust on the jar, and it did the same thing. So it must be something with the glass sticker. So
another thing to keep in mind, I did notice that you're going to have to use a lot of food coloring. It kind of dissipates out of the water a little bit, but I thought it was a fun idea, especially for a party. Okay, that was 20 Dollar Tree Solar Light DIYs. I hope you got lots of fun crafting inspiration for your solar lights to light up the outdoors of your home. And please let me know down in the comments below which solar light DIY was your favorite. I would love to hear from you, and enjoy the final reveal.
like a dream. You and I standing wild and free, with petals so golden, the sun's warm kiss, a love so strong, a bliss. Whispers of the breeze, secrets unfold. It's you that I need, it's you that I want. When the world gets cold, it's you and me. When the sun comes back, you'll see. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore. 7 years now on this boat, and we all know where we belong. Just wait. For our home to show on the horizon, soon we'll be there. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore when we can't read the sky. We just sail with the wind that we've got. And when we're drowning in doubt, just keep on believing. We are dreamers of the shore.
Remember when you told me that I should take it slow, but I can't stay when the world is waiting. I'm too used to being on my own. Hearts will break, but I have to chase it. I'm dancing on the edge again. The wind is calling my name. I'm dancing on the edge again. This time I'm not looking back, babe. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be back, goes in every place I find. I'll break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. I remember when you told me I should settle down, but these restless feet won't keep me grounded. The open road's the only place I found where I feel alive, and the stars will guide me. I'm dancing on the edge again. The wind is calling my name. I'm dancing on the edge again. This time I'm not looking back, babe. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be back, goes in every place I find. I'll break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. A free-born mind. A free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be fat, goes in every place I find. I break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be fat, goes in every place I find. I break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind.
you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. That really helps me here as a YouTuber. I also want to thank all of my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you in the order of being a member to Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, I Am Mojo Jojo, Marin Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Donna Tanner, Kim Rogers, Maria Cruz Pagan, and Powell Puppy Life. I really appreciate all of you guys for supporting my channel. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, you're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube and a badge next to your name when you comment down below and a thank you in every video. All you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. Also, we would all love to see your DIYs. I am back on Facebook. They tried to take me down, but I am back. And we have a private Facebook group linked in the description of today's video. And we would love to see what you've been crafting. So show off your DIYs. We would love to see it. And if you would like more Solar Light Dollar Tree DIYs, check out one of these YouTube videos right here. I have tons of ideas for you. And until next time, happy crafting.